Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Court documents confirm Julie Chrisley once assaulted Lindsay. For a long time, there had been a rumor that the real reason Lindsay Chrisley left Chrisley Knows Best was because her father's new wife Julie assaulted her. Now, the estrangement caused Lindy to be the black sheep of the family. For the most part, fans of the reality TV family divided and picked a side. Because Todd was on television still, and in a much brighter spotlight than his daughter, most people sided with him and his version of the stories. Sadly, court documents from Todd and Julie's recent convicting and sentencing confirm Lindsay's version of the story was very much the truth. Julie Chrisley assaulted her stepdaughter Lindsay in front of a bunch of witnesses. Per the court documents, she reportedly assaulted Lindsay in front of a production crew. And the incident also happened in front of Todd. How did Julie Chrisley manage to assault Lindsay in front of a bunch of witnesses and get away with it? Why didn't Lindsay press charges against her stepmother? The court documents tell the full story. Keep reading for a summary of the court documents. Julie Chrisley once assaulted Lindsay. Per sentencing exhibit number 14, on pages 2 and 3, fans learned that 2017 was the year that Lindsay Chrisley, then referred to as Lindsay Campbell, stopped filming Chrisley Knows Best. According to Lindsay, she believed her last day filming, or the day behind, was when the IRS seized a storage unit belonging to her father Todd. Lindsay speculates her stepmother Julie was likely upset about the storage unit the day she assaulted her. According to the court documents, Julie became upset at Lindsay Chrisley for reading Chloe a bedtime story. Julie Chrisley reportedly invaded Lindsay's space, got in her face, grabbed her neck, and slapped her. Per the documents, Lindsay Chrisley was slapped by Julie in front of a filming crew and her father Todd. Embarrassed by what happened, Lindsay informed her father she could have Julie arrested for assaulting her before leaving. Lindsay Chrisley later had an anxiety attack over what happened. Why didn't Lindsay Chrisley send her stepmother to jail? The biggest question fans have is simple. If this really happened, why didn't Lindsay press charges against Julie Chrisley? Turns out, she did not file a police report. Instead, she hired an attorney to handle the situation. Lindsay later learned Todd, and the media company, also hired an attorney. Furthermore, they hired an investigator. Julie Chrisley reportedly flipped the story when recalling it to the investigator, claiming that Lindsay was the aggressor in the situation. Making things worse, everyone who saw the incident was forced to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Sadly, Lindsay Chrisley's attorney informed her that filing a lawsuit was a waste of time because everyone would support Julie's version of the story out of fear of losing their job. Fans of the family react in disgust. These few pages of court documents were discussed in great detail on Reddit. Overall, fans were disgusted with how Todd and Julie treated Lindsay. Moreover, fans were flabbergasted by the fact that Lindsay has somehow forgiven her parents and let them back into her life. Some fans speculate Todd likely threatened Lindsay again to play nice because of the ongoing legal battle. In a revelation that has left both fans and critics stunned, newly surfaced court documents have allegedly confirmed what many long suspected. That Julie Chrisley, the family matriarch once praised for her calm and compassionate demeanor, was once involved in a violent altercation with her stepdaughter, Lindsay Chrisley. The shocking details, which paint a far darker picture of the Chrisley family's internal dynamics, have reignited discussions about what really went on behind the glossy facade of Chrisley Knows Best. For years, the Chrisleys sold the image of perfection, a Southern Christian family full of love, humor, and life lessons. Todd Chrisley, with his sharp wit and penchant for luxury, stood at the center, while Julie, polished, soft-spoken, and motherly, appeared as his grounding force. Yet, the latest revelations indicate that their private lives may have been far more volatile than fans could ever imagine. The day everything changed. According to the alleged documents, the altercation between Julie and Lindsay occurred several years before the family's legal troubles became national headlines. Sources close to the situation claim that tensions between the two had been escalating for months. Lindsay, Todd's daughter from his first marriage, had long struggled to find her place within the blended household. While the cameras often captured sweet moments between Julie and her stepdaughter, insiders now suggest those moments were carefully staged, masking a growing resentment beneath the surface. The court filings reportedly describe an explosive confrontation that took place inside the Chrisley family's Nashville home. Lindsay, then in her early 20s, had allegedly accused her father and stepmother of being manipulative and controlling. The argument quickly spiraled out of control. Witness statements describe Julie losing her composure, screaming at Lindsay, and allegedly grabbing her by the arm during the heated exchange. Though no criminal charges were filed at the time, the incident reportedly became a major point of contention in later family disputes. Attorneys involved in the Chrisleys' ongoing legal battles referenced the event as an example of the family's volatile interpersonal relationships, noting that it reflected a pattern of emotional and, at times, physical conflict. Julie's public image cracks. For years, Julie Chrisley was considered the family's moral compass, the calm in Todd's storm. Fans adored her warmth and unwavering support for her children, often calling her the voice of reason on Chrisley Knows Best. But this new revelation challenges that reputation. A family insider reportedly told investigators that Julie snapped under pressure, describing her as overwhelmed by the constant need to maintain the perfect image for television. Julie was always trying to hold it all together. The family, the show, the appearances, the insider claimed. But when the cameras were off, the tension was unbearable. The fight with Lindsay was the breaking point. Social media has since erupted with mixed reactions. Some fans have rushed to Julie's defense, suggesting the reports are being exaggerated or manipulated for legal advantage. Others, however, say this revelation aligns with what Lindsay has hinted at for years. Lindsay, who publicly distanced herself from the Chrisley family long before Todd and Julie's conviction, once described her relationship with her stepmother as painfully strained. On her podcast Coffee Convos, she admitted that she and Julie had gone through some really dark times, and that forgiveness had been a long road. Though she never disclosed specifics, many now believe this assault incident may have been what she was referring to. Todd's reaction: a family in turmoil. If there's one thing Todd Chrisley is known for, it's control. For years, he micromanaged his family's public image, ensuring that every photo, every statement, every episode portrayed them as the ideal Southern dynasty. But even Todd couldn't keep this secret buried forever. Sources close to the Chrisleys say Todd was furious when the altercation first occurred, not necessarily because of what happened, but because of what it could mean for their reputation. Todd was livid that something like that happened under his roof, a source claimed. He told Julie it could destroy everything they built. Ironically, the family's empire would later crumble not because of personal scandals, but because of financial crimes. Yet this latest revelation adds a deeply personal layer to the Chrisleys' already tumultuous legacy. It reveals that before the fraud charges, before the prison sentences, there was already chaos brewing behind closed doors. Lindsay's pain and silence. Lindsay Chrisley has always walked a complicated line when it comes to her family. Though she has at times spoken out about the toxicity she experienced, she has also expressed love for her younger siblings and sadness over how things turned out. Following the release of the alleged court documents, Lindsay has remained tight-lipped. Insiders claim she is considering her options, unsure whether to publicly address the reports or let the documents speak for themselves. Those close to her say the emotional wounds from that day have never fully healed. Lindsay's been through so much, one confidant shared. She's tried to move on, but every time something like this resurfaces, it reopens old pain. Julie's downfall and the public's divide. Julie Chrisley's current situation makes this revelation even more tragic. Once America's most beloved Southern mom, she is now serving time in federal prison for financial crimes alongside her husband. The couple's conviction shocked fans, but many held on to sympathy for Julie, believing she was simply caught in Todd's web of deceit. Now, some are rethinking that narrative. If these reports are true, one fan posted on X, formerly Twitter, then maybe Julie wasn't the innocent victim we thought she was. Maybe she had her own dark side all along. Still, others see her as human, a woman who cracked under unimaginable pressure. People forget that the Chrisleys were living under constant scrutiny, another fan wrote. Julie probably just reached her breaking point. It doesn't excuse it, but it makes her human. A family torn apart, and a legacy redefined. With this revelation, the Chrisley family saga takes yet another jaw-dropping turn. What began as a feel-good reality series about love, laughter, and Southern charm has now become a cautionary tale about fame, control, and fractured family ties. If the documents are accurate, Julie's assault on Lindsay will go down as one of the most disturbing chapters in the Chrisley story. A reminder that what glitters on television is rarely gold. Behind every smiling family portrait may lie secrets, anger, and pain that even fame and fortune can't erase. As fans continue to process this revelation, one thing is certain. Chrisley Knows Best may have ended, but the story of the Chrisley family is far from over. And now, with court documents confirming what many whispered for years, the world finally sees the cracks that fame and filters once tried so desperately to hide.